Come to order, please. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied. A copy of the annual meeting notice was sent to the press. Now be current, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, on the municipal website, filed in the office of the city clerk. Would you please turn off all cell phone and electronic equipment as we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Johanna, call the roll, please.
Mayor Becker.
Here.
Commissioner Amadeo.
Here.
Commissioner Blumberg.
For the record, Commissioner Blumberg's taken his two daughters to college. I know. He's upset.
Mr. Deeney, would you discuss the new Margate handbook, please?
Yes. Two commissioners that are here tonight have in front of them this book that's in front of you. It's the revised Employee Handbook Policy and Procedures Manual, and it has undergone a thorough review with some revisions. The Joint Insurance Fund has a good policy, one of which is that anybody that's a member of the Joint Insurance Fund is supposed to do it and must certify that they do it to review their handbook every 2 years. Obviously, there's a lot of litigation with employee litigation in America these days, and the regulations and laws are very much more complicated than they once were. You've got about 150 pages of policy and procedures in front of you, but there are not a lot of changes. What you have is a version that shows you every single change, every single typo, and everything that was changed in it. I call your attention to the memo that was sent out by Joanne Ciota to myself on August 16th, which I forwarded to you, that lists the major changes. And what I would suggest, if you just look at that memo in conjunction with this document, that'll be the easiest way to proceed through it. Chapter 308 is the Family and Medical Leave Act policy, and that one was the chapter that was most extensively revised to meet the current laws with respect to that law. The reason why it's on this workshop today is to give you this copy in advance, and it will be on the September 1st agenda, a resolution to approve it and get it certified by the Joint Insurance Fund. And then during the month of September, we will revise, we will meet with the employees and go over all these changes, and they will all get a copy of this. I want to thank Lisa, Joanne, Vanessa from the Barker Law Firm, and Vanessa James, and others who have, the chief worked on the family and medical leave policy going back to the time when he was acting administrator in January. And I think it's in good shape, and I recommend that, subject to your review, that we approve it on September 1st. Any questions?
John, I have none. John, you have no questions.
No questions.
Thank you, Rich. At this point, we'll do department heads, and we'll start with Mr. Verna.
Sorry, wasn't paying attention. I'm working very diligently at trying to get everything in order for the 1 South building. There's a lot of technical stuff that needs to be done there that I'm trying to get in place prior to them turning the building over to us so we can get in there as quick as we can. I have all my contractors all set up and ready to go, and that'll probably be in the second week of September. September 12th is actually the date that I have set up. So we should be finished in there before the end of September, and that building should be completely ready to go. Other than that, I had the Joint Insurance Fund come down this week. They sent a representative down from a survey that we did for security purposes for the city of Margate. I was audited by the GIF's representative, a company called Pivot Point, I believe, and that's all they do is security. We met for about 2.5 hours, went over all of our security documents and how I manage the networks and the systems, and I was told by him that he did 35 municipalities prior, we were the lowest risk for security problems. So I thought that was pretty good. And we should be getting some type of letter referencing that. Last night, we had a close lightning strike at the police department. It knocked out some of the equipment, so I was there this morning straightening that stuff out. But other than that, life is great. I love being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. Jim?
We love having you, Fred. Okay, pat him on the back. An interesting point was brought up at the work meeting about the CO for the old City Hall. If the contractor comes in and requests the CO, he can demand full payment for his services. It's part of the condition of the permit. I think that we should be really diligent on the fact that we don't give the CO until everything is completely 100% completed. That's should be adamant and should be held in stone. And we'll make sure that's done correctly, because Fred said he will be in the building getting ready, and the court will be in there soon. So I think we need to be fully, completely, 100% satisfied before the final certificate of occupancy is issued. Other than that, I'm looking for a machine to start tearing houses down, because I think we need to be motivated on tearing some buildings down. We're 15th is in September is coming. That's when the moratorium is lifted and all the demos. I think we have 7 or 8 slated to be torn down at this point, which to me is another phenomenal season for construction. Roger and I have been working really hard. And Scott, we need to get that flood ordinance. I sent you a copy of an email that was supposed to be done back in November of last year. And we noticed it's still missing out. It's never been codified in our flood ordinance. We need to get that really back into the corrected, and so Roger can have something to work with on new construction and raising of homes.
Just one question for you. Do you have any idea where the map status is? Do you have any idea where the mapping, adoption of the flood mapping?
It's nowhere. New York City appealed all the maps, so they're being redone.
So we're still up in the air with that one. So, all right. Well.
Go ahead, Roger. You got any information?
Okay.
We're still using everything based off the preliminary firm maps,
Yeah.
and that's going to continue until the new maps are adopted.
Johanna, you had a question?
I have a question about the old City Hall. If we have not received any of his employment statements that he's supposed to submit to the state of New Jersey since April 13th, are we allowed to withhold his checks?
Sure, it's a condition. It's a condition of the contract. If he isn't submitting to you, I will check to see if he's submitting to Joe McMillan. The original's supposed to go to you with a copy to us, clearly stated in the pre-construction. So, yes, we could do that.
Doesn't Joe check that too then, if he doesn't?
I'm sorry. I will check. I'm going to check. I'll call my office and make sure that to see whether if we have copies, I'll get them over to Johanna. But generally, we won't process a payment unless he sends us a copy. But he should be submitting the original to Johanna.
Okay.
Weekly, I'm supposed to get it.
Yeah.
It was April 13th.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for bringing that up. Roger?
Keeping busy with planning and zoning and purchasing and just enjoying life. Thank you.
Johanna, do you have anything else?
I have nothing to report other than timesheets.
Commissioner, do you want to report for Chief Tabasco?
Yes, I would. Thank you, Mayor. Want to mention we have a resolution 158 on the agenda today to authorize the purchase of a pump truck. We're replacing a 1985 issue truck that is in need of a lot of work. I want to compliment Chief Tabasco and his committee. We were able to purchase one for $398,000, and it was a cost savings to the city of about $100,000 from what the list price of the truck was. It was a stock item that they had. He's going to have to retrofit it, which would probably be in the $8,000 to $10,000 range. Chief Tabasco is not here tonight because he's at the funeral service for Billy Howarth, who passed away this week, who was a Ventnor lifeguard and Ventnor firefighter. As part of today, along with Brigantine and Longport, Margate supplied some personnel to cover the beaches in Ventnor to allow the Ventnor guards that had friendships with the Howarth family to attend the services at 4 o'clock. So I want to thank our guards for what I would consider a mutual service, giving aid to Ventnor in the time that they needed it, and it shows how we all work together as municipalities here. That's all I have to report.
Thank you, John. And my kudos also to all your lifeguards and all that. One of the Ventnor commissioners spoke to me this mid-morning, and they had placed that on Facebook. There were over 1,000 I like hits, comments about the cooperation between the cities. And I just think that's great. These are all kinds of things we should be doing, and thank you for that, Judd. Scott, you're next.
As you know, Mayor and Commissioners will be going up to Philadelphia on Tuesday to review our drainage needs with the Army Corps and the DEP. I'm not quite sure who all will go, but I think we have a key man over here on my left that should be as a part of that aspect of how to handle drainage on our beachfront area. So I'm sure we're going to meet, at 8:30 to hook this up and
Yeah, we'll meet here.
Go up. And it's a very important meeting because so many people are concerned, as we are, about the proper drainage on our beach block areas. I would also be remiss if I didn't mention that a longtime resident, Adia Santora, called me up to say today to remind you, all of us, that we are very much concerned with what type of sand gets pumped onto the beach. He insisted, Mayor, that I deliver the message to all of us, and I told him we were very much aware of that issue, but we will also repeat that and repeat his message to the Army Corps and the DEP this Tuesday about the quality of sand that they pump up on our beach. As you know, they test this sand. There are different grades of quality, and it's something we are very much concerned with as well. But it was great to hear from him. As you know, he was a very long time servant, member of our zoning board, and has been a big, big supporter of Margate and a volunteer for many years on our boards. So I would be remiss if I didn't mention him. I wish him well. That's it.
Thank you, Scott. Rich, do you have anything else?
Just reminded when I heard Jim speak about housing and tearing down houses, we are anticipating the potential for, it's not announced yet, but some more money that may become available to Margate for raising homes. For those people who need raised homes, especially those who have suffered damage previously. And so we've asked Roger and Jim to start putting a list, to continue to put a list together of people who inquire for them with regard to the possibility of getting some government funds for assistance in raising homes. So that's likely to start taking place over the next year.
Thank you, Rich. Chief Wolfson.
Everything's good in the police department. I'd like to draw your attention to Resolution 155. You'll see it's about special traffic regulations for Fun Fest. That's something we do every year to allow us to make the 200 blocks both ways from Washington to Coolidge, or actually, I'm sorry, yeah, from Washington to Coolidge, makes it a two-way street, as well as restrict a lot of parking, so that's nothing out of the ordinary. Additionally, as you're aware, we found out that the restriction on parking on Cedar Grove Avenue was actually lifted, and we removed the signage. Subsequent to that, I've received numerous calls as well as emails from residents of Union and Vendome that would like to see the same thing happen on both of those streets. So I bring it to your attention for consideration, and maybe we should talk about remanding that portion of the ordinance. I fully support that. I think it would open up some parking.
Bring it to us.
I'm sorry?
Bring it on.
I'll ask Johanna to prepare the remand for next meeting.
September 1st.
Okay?
Great. Yeah.
Other than that, everything's good.
Anything else, Chief?
Nope, that's it.
Lisa?
I just wanted to quickly describe why the Resolution 154 is on the agenda for the authorizing depository and signatories for the banking, basically because due to a retirement in the building department and the replacement of an employee, that we need to have that authorized. Okay. We started planning our Down Beach Health Fair for this year in conjunction with Longport and Ventnor. Our Wellness Committee met last week, so the date is going to be October 27th here, unless there's any objections from you, similar to what was done last year. I think it was well received. I heard a lot of positive feedback. If anyone has any recommendations, suggestions, or wants to help out, they would be appreciated. Just let me know. Met with the state representative for the Office of Emergency Management to close out the one hazard mitigation grant that helped to fund the emergency generators here. So we will be receiving those funds, $176,000, he said, hopefully within a couple of weeks, which is great. Let me see what else. I met on the Finance Committee for the Joint Insurance Fund, and we met to preliminarily discuss the budget for next year. And hopefully our portion, due to our excellent loss ratio, I'm anticipating, unless something changes the next meeting, 0% increase in our assessment for the JIF portion. I don't know what will happen at the MEL portion. And also that we were discussing the release of the dividends for this year, where they're going to be releasing in total, we think, $2.5 million. So potentially we could get a $60,000 dividend next year, which I would recommend to apply against our assessment. So that's double good news for us in regards to the JIF. And yesterday, to dovetail off of what John had mentioned about Bill Howarth from Ventnor, I received a request from Ventnor, and ordinarily we take turns designing beach badges with them. And although this would be Margate's turn to design for the 2017 season, they asked if they would mind if the beach badge design they came up with this would be on next year's badge in honor of Bill Howarth. I think it's a nice gesture. However, we need your authorization because we do, share a badge. It would say Ventnor and Margate, so, because I had pointed out there's only a V on there, but there would be wording to say it's for Ventnor and Margate.
That would have been my question.
Yeah.
Mine too.
Absolutely. Or they could also add, an M on this. So if there's any objections or suggestions,
Well, the only
just let
thing
me
I
know.
would suggest is either, not to take away, because Fish was his nickname, is if on the brim, they could either use our logo, our beach logo.
Yeah, okay.
Or put MCBP, or do something like that. I'm just suggesting that because I think that since we do it as
Right.
cooperatively with them.
No,
and-
I agree.
And it's a great honor for them to do it for them.
Yeah, and,
I support it.
Okay, so I will just ask them to
See if they
incorporate
can fit it
the
in and see what they come up with.
Somehow or another, they have to acknowledge the Margate portion of
Right.
it. And,
Okay, I don't think
Bill's-
that's a
Bill's a great guy.
problem.
It's a good honor for him.
Because I think
and
it's
his memory.
misleading.
Yeah.
Right, no, I agree. That was
Misleading that if it just has the V, then people think they're just buying a Ventnor Beach badge, even if they're purchasing it here.
Right.
So it should have Margate on it.
That was the first thing I noticed.
Anything else, Lee?
No, that's all, thank you.
Frank?
We've been extremely busy. The beach has been keeping us real busy this summer. We really have officially 3 weeks left, so we're kind of looking forward to that, so things will slow down a little. We've also been meeting with the Margate Business Association about the Bay Fest. It's coming up. It'll be coming up fast. And there's nothing new, a couple little things. We won't have any problem setting it up. That's all I have.
Thank you, Frank. Ed?
Okay, the beach thoroughfare dredging, we had submitted the sampling and testing plan to the DEP, asking them for the numbers and types of testing that we required. We're waiting for that to come back. The 2015-16 road program, we received the bids on the 29th. We're scheduling a meeting sometime this week. We have to see how much funding we have so we can determine what we can and cannot award. The Gladstone Avenue water tank painting, we've bid that 3 times so far. We're recommending that the bids go to U.S. Tank Painting out of Millstone, New Jersey. They had a base bid of $396,900. So that is on the agenda today. The 2015 state aid, while there's the moratorium on construction, we are proceeding with the design for the reconstruction of Winchester Avenue from Jerome to Granville. And Union Avenue, the small drainage problem at the end of Union Avenue, we've authorized the contractor to fabricate the sluice gate for that. Hopefully within a week or so, he'll be in to install that. Thai School storm sewer replacement, all the pipe work's complete, the roof drain installation is complete, and they should be grading and paving very soon. That way, everything will be cleaned up prior to school start. The One South project, the contractor is still on schedule to complete by August 31st. We're keeping our fingers crossed. They have carpet installation. There's still a lot of little things left, but it's moving along nicely now. And the 2014-15, essentially, that's complete. There are a few little punch list items, and the repair that had to be done around Memorial Day weekend has been base coursed, and then when asphalt paving comes in to do the paving on Thai School, then they will go over and do the final paving on that patch so that that's cleaned up. The Amherst Avenue State Aid project, that's 99% complete. There's 1 or 2 little punch list items. As soon as the moratorium issue is resolved, we will put in for the last 25% of that funding. And the gas company continues to do their services. There's a tremendous number that are being done. They're moving along. It's still their intent to pave the end of September, early October, and they will start, as last year, with 2 different paving contractors because there's 2 different primes for that work. So the streets will get paved. That's all I have.
Thank you, Ed. Last chance, anybody, second time around? If not, we'll open for public comment. 3 minutes. Please come forward. Reset.
Steve Warner, 103 North Sumner Avenue. I'd like to discuss the beach block parking. I think that was brought up a little bit, yes.
Steve, I hate to interrupt you. That really wasn't part of the discussion.
You were talking about the parking, right?
No.
Wasn't it beach block? I couldn't hear exactly.
Wasn't beach block.
It wasn't beach block, Steve.
Well,
What else would you like to talk about?
what the hell's the difference? I just want to chime in on the parking, okay? I think that, I wonder how much people in Margate are going to benefit by having beach block parking, all right, the residents. I really wonder. I think maybe it's going to benefit people.
Stephen, it's really against my better judgment, but
I'm just going to bring it up later.
that's fine. I have no problem with that, Steve, but if I do it for you, I have to do it for everybody, okay?
I know, I get special treatment here.
Yes, you do.
All right.
Anyone else? Is a motion to close?
I'll make a motion to close open comment.
I'll second that.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blufford?
We will